What about in the classroom where you're sitting there and you're failing and you're no good, and then you're then told, "Oh, by the way, do you realize that 30% of entrepreneurs are dyslexic, just like you?" Or did you realize that NASA, the people that send people in outer space, they actually try and hire dyslexic people just like you?
Mhm.
No, what I was told is, no, you're going to go dig a hole.
Yep.
Okay. That's your job. You're going to be a laborer. Um,
Yep.
you know, and so again, you're not given this beautiful world. And I still today, I'm wondering where that class is that teaches the neurodiverse skill set to be different, just like a music class or just like a drama class, just like going to extra gym, not a class to learn to read and write, a class to actually go, this is what your brain's doing, this is how it's operating, this is how we can then control some of those emotions. You're very comfortable with failure, so therefore, maybe learn to bring it back a bit. You know,
Yeah.
um, you have very high risk tolerances because of the way in which you think. Um, so yeah, we're living in a world where I think technology is fantastic and absolutely totally 100% support all technology. I think what we're missing is, especially for the parents and the family members, is recognizing that the way in which the individual is dealing with this every day is also really, really difficult for the people that are living with ADHD people and also that individual because of the continual failure. And I think that emotional failure is more detrimental than we've actually recognized.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think about when I was teaching and how many of my students failed over and over again. And then some of them didn't give up and they kept
That's right.
trying and they kept working, but others did because
Yeah.
it was so horrible to their self-esteem that they were like, why am I trying? What's the purpose? I spend hours and hours on my homework. And I've related this to, if you went to an 8 hour a day job
Yeah.
and at that job you were giving it everything you could,
Yeah.
and yet when you were finished you had to go home and do 5 or 6 more hours of that exact same thing that was so hard for you to do all day long.
Yeah.
You have to do that 5 days a week for 13 years.